these are the notes on surface area of pyramids. So prisms, I think, are a little bit more difficult than pyramids. I think pyramids are more easy to see what's going on. I did these notes so that for each type of pyramid that we're going to talk about, you're going to see a net. So a net looks like this. It's as if I took the top of the pyramid and I twisted it off and let it fall flat on the ground. You could see what it would look like. Sometimes that makes it easier to identify the different shapes. So we're going to talk about 3 different pyramids. We're going to talk about a square pyramid, a rectangular pyramid, and a triangular pyramid. So let's start with the square pyramid. And if I want to cover the square pyramid, I need to find its surface area. So a square pyramid has 2 shapes. It's got the square base, and then it's got the triangular lateral faces. Those are the triangles that go up to form the point. So I'm going to start with my square base. And I know the formula for a square is length times width, or you could say side squared for a square. So I'm going to say 4 squared, which is 16. So I'm going to come back to that number, so I'm going to circle it so I don't forget about it. Then I have these triangular lateral faces. So like on a triangle, it's these ones that are coming up to a point. And when I have a square pyramid, all of my triangular faces are exactly the same. So I'm going to say, all right, let's find the area of a triangle. And I know that formula is 1/2 times base times height. So let's fill in what we know. 1/2 times the base. Well, here's my 90-degree angle. So I know it's made up of this line and this dotted line, the altitude. So this line has a measure of 4 because all sides are 4. And this dotted line, the altitude line, tells me the height of the triangle, and that's 6. If I do this, 1/2 of 4 is 2, and 2 times 6 is 12. So that would just represent one triangle. But like I said a minute ago, we have 4 identical triangles. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to multiply it by 4. And that'll give me 48. So now my last step then, just like the prisms, is to add everything together. So I've got my square base and my 4 triangular faces, and I'm going to add them together. And I get 64 centimeters squared. So now I want you to try this one on your own. So pause the video, try it, and then when you're done, restart the video to see if you did it right. So pause me now. All right, so this pyramid, again, it's made up of a square and triangles. And all my triangles are the same because I have a square base. And again, if I have a square base, all my triangles are going to be the same. So I'm going to start with my square, and I'm going to say, the side of the square is 9, so 9 squared equals 81. I'm going to circle it so I don't forget to come back to it. And then I have my triangular lateral faces. So here's a triangle that shows my altitude of my triangle. So I'm going to use that triangle to help me. Here's my 90-degree angle. So I need to know the measure of this right here. And since it's a square and all sides are the same, I know it's 9. And the height of that triangle, it says, is 12.2. So when I figure it out, I figure out one triangle is worth 54 9/10. But again, I don't have one of those triangles. I have 4 of them that make up my pyramid. So I'm going to multiply that number times 4. And I'll get 219 6/10. And then again, I just add. So my square base and my 4 triangular faces. And when I add them together, I'm going to get 306 inches squared. All right, so that's one type. That was a square pyramid. Now I have a rectangular pyramid, and a rectangular pyramid is similar but different at the same time. So just like the square pyramid, we're going to start with the bottom base, and in this case, it's a rectangle. And I know the formula for a rectangle is length times width. So I'm going to see, and this one's drawn both ways. So here's the pyramid, here's the net of the pyramid as if it was unfolded. So I can see that the pyramid length and width is 3 and 5, and it's probably easier to see on this one. But you don't always have a net, so we got to learn how to do it both ways. So we're going to say 3 times 5 That's 15. So I know just the base of my rectangular pyramid is 15. Now this is where it's a little bit different because a rectangle does not have 4 identical triangles because all sides aren't the same. So I have a triangle right here that has a base of 5. And this triangle over here would also have a base of 5. So in a rectangle, we have opposite sides that are congruent. Well, the same thing with a rectangular pyramid. We have opposite triangles that are congruent. So we have to use that triangle formula 2 different times here. So I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to say triangle of the orange one. So 1/2 times base times height. Then let's fill in what we know. Here's my 90-degree angle, so I need to know this base. It's not labeled right here, but I know that it's 5 because the opposite sides are congruent. And the height of that triangle is 4. So 1/2 times 5 times 4 is 10. So I know one triangle is worth 10, but I have 2 identical triangles, so I'm going to say times 2, and that's 20. Okay, and now I'm going to do it again. So triangle, I'm going to put Y for the yellow ones. So again, I'm going to use my triangle formula, and I'm going to fill in what I know. So here's my 90-degree angle, so I need to know this base. And again, opposite sides are congruent, so I know it's 3 times my height is 5.3. Come up with 7 and 95/100ths for just one yellow triangle. But I don't have one yellow triangle, I have 2 yellow triangles. So I'm going to multiply that number by 2. And I get 15 and 9/10. So again, my last step is to add them all together. I have my rectangular base. I have 2 triangular faces equaling 20. And the other 2 have a total of 15 and 9/10. And I'm just going to add them together. I would get 50 and 9/10 feet squared. That's how I would do a rectangular pyramid. So again, it's almost like a square, but we got to remember that not all the triangles are the same. Only the ones that are opposite from each other are the same if it's a rectangle. So I want you to try this one on the back. This is an example again of a rectangular pyramid. It's 12 by 8. Not all my sides are the same. So just like last time, I want you to try it on your own. So pause me right now. All right, let's see how you did. So I start with my rectangular base, and I see that's 12 times 8, which would give me 96. And I know I got to come back to that number. Okay, now I'm going to do my triangular faces. I'm going to color on mine. And when you take your quiz this week, if you want to use highlighters or colored pencils throughout the test, that is absolutely okay with me. So I have that yellow triangle that's up front. I also have a matching one in the back. So back here, there's another yellow triangle that matches it. So I'm going to put a Y for yellow. And I know it's 1/2 times the base. Here's my base, and here's my height. There's my 90-degree angle that tells me that. So I'm going to say 12 times 10. So half of 12 is 6, and 6 times 10 is 60. So that would be for one triangle, but we just said we don't have one, we have 2 identical triangles. So I'm going to get 120. Okay, I'm going to color this other one in orange. So then I have these ones that are on the side. So here's this orange one, and it has a matching one that's right over here, directly across from it. I'm going to put orange. 1/2 times the base times the height. So I'm going to say 1/2 times, here's my 90-degree angle. I see the base is 8 and the height is 11. So half of 8 is 4, and 4 times 11 is 44. But again, I don't have one triangle that looks like that. I have one that matches it over here. So I'm going to say times 2 is 88. And now I'm going to add them all together. My rectangular base, one set of triangular faces, the other set of triangular faces. And when I add them all together, we should get 304 meters squared. Okay, so we've done square pyramids, we've done rectangular pyramids, and now we're going to do triangular pyramids. So triangular pyramids are made of just triangles, 'tis the name triangular pyramids. And usually, most often, they are not all the same triangles. Every once in a while, you'll come up with one where it's a perfect triangular pyramid in which all four of the faces would be exactly the same. But more often than not, the base is different than the triangular faces. So I have two different triangles that I'm going to do here. I'm going to start with my triangular base, which is right here. Okay, so I'm going to put a Y in it for my yellow one. And again, I know the formula by now, so I'm just going to write 1/2 times the base. Here's my 90-degree angle, so I need to know this measure right here. I see the congruency lines on this triangle, which means all of the sides are congruent, and that's always going to be true for a triangular pyramid. So I'm going to say 5 times, and then the height. The height is this dotted line right here called the altitude line. That's times 6. So 1/2 of 6 is 3, and 3 times 5 is 15. I have to come back to that one. And then I've got my triangular faces. Now, these triangles are all exactly the same size because the 3 sides of my triangular base were exactly the same. So I'm going to do the triangle of the orange. So 1/2 times, find my base. Here's my 90-degree angle. Look for that 90-degree angle. My base is 5 and my height is 9. So I put that all in my calculator and I find out that one orange triangle is worth 22.5. But I don't have one. I have 3. So I'm going to multiply that number by 3. And we get 67.5. So that's my triangular faces that go up to the point. Now, just like every time before, I add my triangular base with my 3 triangular faces that come up to the point. And I would get 82 and 5/10 inches squared is my answer. So there's one at the bottom here. I forgot to put a measure on it. So let's put the measure at the bottom. I forgot to put the altitude on it before I copied it. Let's draw that in. So draw a little dotted line on the bottom base. We're going to draw an arrow pointing to it. And we're going to call it 8 centimeters. Okay, so now that you know that, I want you to try this last one on your own. So pause me and try it. All right, let's see how you did. So the triangular base, that would be this triangle right here. Let's put in the 90-degree mark too. Okay, so I'm going to say 1/2 times the base, that's right here, and I see a congruency line, which means I have to look at my 3 sides and find one that has a measure, and that's right here, 6 centimeters. So times 6 times the altitude that we drew in, which was 8. So 1/2 of 6 is 3, and 3 times 8 is 24. So I'm going to take that number, I'm going to circle it. Now there's only one of those, so I'm not going to multiply it by anything. There's only one triangular base. However, I have 3 identical triangular faces, and those are these ones right here that I'm shading in orange. Say the orange one is 1/2 times, here's my 90-degree angle, my base is 6, and my height is 10 this time. So 1/2 of 6 is 3, and 3 times 10 is 30. But we don't have just one of those. We have 3 exact ones. And I know it's 3 because there's 3 sides of a triangle on my base. Say times 3, which is 90. So again, just like every other time, I do my last step. So my 3 triangular faces and my 1 triangular base, and I add them together, and you should have got 114 centimeters squared. All right. Now try your 6-question homework assignment and make sure to submit your answers in Schoology. If you need help, let me know.